Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. 2 uploads in 1 week. What the heck is going on? Also, I'm aware I look a little bit less spooky today. I thought if this video would just sit, have a chat, and I would tell you about my new single, Crying, because you're gonna have to listen to it at some point. My new single, Crying, has been out for a week now, and I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone that's already taken the time to listen to it, to stream it, to buy it, and for all of the lovely comments and feedback that I've had on the song and the video. I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying it, because this song has been 4 years in the making. You can't see my fist, but just... That's right, this song is 4 years old, not just a week old. I began writing this song in 2017, before I started writing any song for my debut album, Villains. I've recently got into the sort of new wave, alternative pop punk kind of sound, by which I mean Paramore had just released their album After Laughter. The new Paramore album had just come out. That's how long ago this was. Paramore had actually released an album. You know, I was hearing the sounds of Hard Times, Rose Colored Boy, and Hayley was writing about struggling with her mental health, and she was also writing about how she was feeling with her connection with her fans in the song Idol Worship. This album really struck me as this open, honest piece of work. And during that time, I was going through some stuff. I was feeling as though I was getting a lot of criticism for pretty much everything that I was doing. Little did I know, things would get so much worse over the next couple of years. But at the time, I felt like I couldn't do anything right. And whenever I got upset about this and aired how I was feeling, I was basically told to shut up, get a real job, that I couldn't possibly be unhappy because I only worked for 5 minutes a week, which is something that a lot of freelance people hear. But there's this big misconception with YouTubers that they don't do a lot of things, and that we're all very, very rich and therefore we can't be unhappy at anything. So anytime that I would talk about how I was feeling, or anytime that I was receiving abuse and responded to it, I was basically told, you know, oh yeah, poor you, try getting a real job, you don't know the meaning of struggling. Mental health doesn't discriminate. You know, you can go through a lot of things regardless of your situation. And there is no denying that, you know, I potentially have less to moan about. And that I am very fortunate for what I do, but when you're going through something and you're basically told that your feelings are completely invalid, and you end up just not feeling listened to. And I spoke to you guys about this recently, and I put up a poll, whether you guys have ever felt that way as well. Whether you've tried to tell someone in your immediate family that you're struggling and being told that others have it worse, or, you know, to just shut up and get over it. That's really what crying's about. Basically just saying, you know, all you do is cry, blah, blah, blah. It's basically just about the complete dismissal of your feelings because someone out there has it worse, which is not a healthy way to talk to anybody. The idea of this sort of tough love attitude, it's not helpful, it's damaging, and it will only serve to make that person who is struggling feel guilty and feel worse. And the song was really a turning point for me, starting to keep a lot more things to myself. I talk about, you know, keeping my head buried underground. It was around this time I sort of stopped sharing as much of my life online as I used to. There's also the middle eight, which talks about we're the ones who made you. That line specifically refers to any time that I would get some horrible comment and I would foolishly reply to it, you know, not even rudely, just openly and honestly. I'd be told to just, you know, oh, I knew I shouldn't have commented anything. You know, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for us. Basically saying that all of the amazing success that I've had over the years, which I'm very grateful for, was thanks to everyone except me. So I was going through a lot, and the lyrics to the song, I decided to leave them as they were. Bringing it forward into 2021, I just wanted it to be exactly how I was feeling at that time. So I'm going to play you a little bit of the acoustic demo that I wrote back in 2017. It's a voice memo on my phone, and you can hear that it was just basic singer-songwriter chords. I think it's like C and G. I think there might be a cheeky F in there. I only play guitar to write, so don't judge my terrible guitar playing skills, but here you go. Here's a little bit of it for you. If you'd like to hear the full version of this, it is up on my Patreon right now. Thank you to everyone that supports me on there. You help me continue to make music for a living. I really appreciate it. But it's available to download, as well as another version, which I'm going to play for you in just a moment. But yeah, pretty much everything is the same. The only thing that's changed from that original version to the version that I put out for streaming and downloading is a little tiny section of the middle eight, which I didn't resolve very well, as you can hear here. Didn't really know what I was doing with that part, but I thought, hey! So basically what happened with that was I had this whole idea planned where my first ever album was going to be based around that sound. Basically, After Laughter 2. I quickly realised that that was not a good thing to do. You know, just... And I decided to leave that song where it was. And a few months later, I wrote Dirt on acoustic guitar. I have a video of that as well, from demo to studio, which you can see up there somewhere. I don't know what side it's on. And after I wrote Dirt, knowing that it was gonna be pop-tastic, I decided to go down that route, and Crying was left behind. Obviously, you guys know I love my debut album so much that I wouldn't change a thing about how it sounds. But it's interesting that Crying was written before Dirt, because I've had quite a few of you say one of the melodies in Crying, "We're the ones that made you," reminds you of Dirt. I got dirt on you. And a few of you have asked if it was some like clever sort of throwback. I wish it was. I wish it was. It's just a case of me writing Crying, not using it, and then writing Dirt and reusing that melody, and then coming back to Crying and thinking, hey, this is a great song. When I decided to write a second album, which is coming out later this year, I knew I wanted to have all new tracks on the album, but also it's a very good exercise for songwriters to go back to their discarded demos, even if it's been years since you wrote them, and listen to them and see if you still enjoy them or whether there's something that you can change. That actually ended up happening with quite a few demos, so a few oldies are actually on the new album, but to you they'll be super new, so it's cool. But basically what happened was I went through my old demos and I chose some of what I thought were the strongest ones, and I sent them to my partner to listen to at his own leisure and tell me what he thought, whether any of them stood out. And I sent him quite a bunch, because it's good to get a second opinion, you know. You must listen to other opinions if you're a songwriter. And he said that Crying stood out, and he wanted to help me develop it. So obviously with this given situation that we're all in, can't say what it is for monetization terms, it's been a really different experience writing this album. Not going to the studio and just sitting there for hours and hours and hours, working remotely with my producer Tom Gittin, sending tracks back and forth that way. So in order to develop Crying, we started to develop it from home, and the first thing that we did to develop it, with references such as Paramore and the 1975 in mind, was finding that right guitar sound. So taking it from just the basic acoustic guitar to the clean sound that you hear now. Here is a comp of the guitar that we used on our developed demo. That was the part that came first, and then we built everything around that. So bass came in, basic beat came in, then that got developed. And obviously the song is very vibey in terms of like the bass line. A lot of you guys said in the comments about how much you love the bass tone and the bass line that's being played. I cannot take credit for those. I am not the best bass player in the world, but I am dating one. So I'm gonna play for you a little bit of the demo that we produced ourselves right here in this room. And this was the version that we ended up sending to my producer, Tom. They don't wanna see me sad. What could possibly make my life so bad? And they say you gotta stop crying all the time. And they say you gotta stop crying all the time. Now, if you'd like to hear the full version of this is also up on my Patreon. And again, a massive thank you to everyone that supports me on there. I love you very much. My light just decided to just give up. Just give up. Ah, there we go. We're on a budget, kids. Might have to invest in some new lights at some point. One of the things that I'm always left in charge of when it comes to developing demos is how I want my vocals to sound. I'm a big fan of using pitch shifting to bolster certain vocals. So basically taking your vocals down an octave and changing the formant so it makes the sound of your throat wider.
All you do is cry, 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 cry.
And they say you've gotta stop crying all the time. This is a technique that's been used in pop music for a very long time now, but if you're looking for something to just thicken your vocals out or make it sound like, you know, there's other people singing with you, it's a very good technique to use. Another thing that I was really proud of was the harmonies in the chorus. Trying to stack those up myself is something that I've only really kind of recently got the hang of, trying to use different harmonies just to bolster things. But one of the things that I'm most proud of is the second half of the chorus that goes, you've gotta stop crying. And then you have a harmony that goes, gotta stop crying. And when you put the two together, it sounds like this. Gotta stop crying. I always felt like that part was very Fleetwood Mac, specifically Stevie Nicks kind of vibes, and a couple of you commented that on the music video, and I was really happy that that kind of influence came across. Overall, the demo that my partner and I worked on here, it really nailed the vibe of the song. It gave my producer everything that he needed in order to finalize the sound without giving any sort of guess room. You know, we knew what we wanted, whether it's from the harmonies, the guitar, the bass, or even like the pad that we put in. If you listen closely, there's a really nice soft pad in the verses. So overall, the song took almost 4 years from first writing it to releasing it, but I'd say probably more like about 3.5 years. We started developing it late last year. I think we ended up getting the final version in December, and then we started work on the music video, and I don't need to talk about that because that's here on YouTube. Please go and watch it. But if we are going to talk about how amazing I am and the work that I've done, I did make this myself. I did that myself. Look, little dials, stuck them on, you know, cut them out myself. Didn't spray it myself though. That was my partner. Don't let me spray things, but I cut the hole. So 5 minutes a week, my arsehole. If you'd like access to both of the demos that I played in this video, you can access them and download them on my Patreon page. The link is in the top of the description. Please go and click on it. Hopefully you think it's worth your time. I love my community on there. Thank you so much for supporting me on there. I cannot wait to share more music news with you guys. Let me know if you have any questions about the development of this song. I didn't want to go in depth with like every single stem, because, you know, I'd rather focus on the basics and then answer your questions down below. It's been a very fulfilling journey with this song, and I'm glad that it's seen the light of day. I'm glad it didn't just stay in the demo folder for the rest of time. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time guys, I shall catch you later. I'm losing the ability to do it. Oh, she's getting old. She's getting old. Oh.